First contact. The vast expanse of space had always called to Dr. Ilara Chen. As she stood in the control room of the Arecibo Observatory, her eyes fixed on the flickering monitors, she couldn't shake the feeling that today would be different. The radio telescope had been picking up an unusual signal for weeks now, a pattern too regular to be natural, yet too complex to be easily deciphered. Dr. Chen, we've isolated the signal's origin, her assistant, Marco, called out. It's coming from just beyond the Kuiper belt. Ilara's heart raced. Show me. The main screen lit up with a star map, a blinking red dot indicating the signal source. It was moving, and fast. My God, Ilara whispered, it's headed straight for us. The next 48 hours were a blur of activity. As news of the approaching object spread, the world held its collective breath. Military forces went on high alert, and civilians alternated between panic and excitement. When the object finally entered Earth's orbit, it revealed itself to be a sleek, silver craft unlike anything humans had ever constructed. It hovered silently over the United Nations headquarters in New York, its presence a silent question mark in the sky. World leaders gathered in an emergency session, debates raging about how to respond. In the end, it was decided that a small delegation would meet the visitors, whoever or whatever they might be. Ilara found herself part of this delegation, her expertise in xenolinguistics making her an invaluable asset. As she stood on the roof of the UN building, flanked by diplomats and military personnel, she couldn't help but feel a mix of terror and exhilaration. A beam of light shot down from the craft, and 3 figures materialized before them. They were tall, slender beings with iridescent skin and large, multifaceted eyes. One stepped forward, its movements fluid and graceful. Greetings, humans of Earth, it spoke, its voice resonating in their minds rather than their ears. We are the Zarquin, and we come with an urgent warning. The alien's words sent a shiver down Ilara's spine. She stepped forward, her training kicking in. We welcome you to Earth. I am Dr. Ilara Chen. May we ask what this warning entails? The Zarquin's eyes shimmered, a kaleidoscope of colors swirling within them. Your world is in grave danger, not from us, but from your own potential. You see, in all our travels across the galaxy, we have never encountered a species quite like yours. Murmurs rippled through the human delegation. Ilara's scientific curiosity piqued. What do you mean by that? Your planet, the alien continued, is what we call a death world. The conditions here are harsh, unforgiving, and constantly changing. Yet not only have you survived, you have thrived. This makes you unique. The second Zarquin stepped forward, its voice a deeper timbre in their minds. Most intelligent life evolves on worlds far more stable than yours. They develop in environments where survival is not a constant struggle. But you humans have been forged in fire, tempered by ice, and shaped by countless cataclysms. Ilara's mind raced, connecting dots she had never considered before. Earth's history was indeed violent. Mass extinctions, ice ages, massive volcanic eruptions. Yet life had persisted, adapted, and eventually produced humanity. The third Zarquin spoke, its mental voice tinged with what could only be described as awe. Your bodies are marvels of evolution. You can survive in a wider range of temperatures than any other sentient species we know. You can eat foods that would be toxic to others. Your ability to heal from injuries is unprecedented. But surely, one of the diplomats interjected, there are other worlds like ours in the galaxy. The first Zarquin shook its head, a gesture they must have learned from observing humans. None that have produced sapient life. You are unique, and that makes you dangerous. Ilara felt a chill that had nothing to do with the evening air. Dangerous. To whom? To yourselves, potentially, the second Zarquin answered, but more immediately to the rest of the galactic community. Many species fear what they do not understand, and you, humans, are beyond their comprehension. The implications were staggering. Humanity, long wondering if they were alone in the universe, was not only not alone, but apparently seen as a potential threat by other civilizations. "What do you propose?" Ilara asked, her scientific mind already considering the possibilities and pitfalls of this revelation. The Zarquin exchanged glances before the first one spoke again. "We propose an alliance. We will introduce you to the galactic stage, act as intermediaries. In return, we ask for your cooperation in easing the fears of other species." As the diplomats began discussing the implications, Ilara's gaze was drawn back to the sky. The stars seemed different now, no longer distant points of light, but potential homes of alien civilizations. And among those stars, Earth, beautiful, harsh, nurturing Earth, was apparently the most alien of them all. The revelation of humanity's unique status in the galaxy marked the beginning of a new era. As Ilara looked at her fellow humans, she saw them in a new light. They were the children of a world that should have killed them 1,000 times over, yet here they stood, ready to take their place among the stars. The Zarquin's warning was clear: humanity's greatest strength, their adaptability, their resilience, their sheer determination to survive against all odds, was also what made them feared. As the negotiations continued into the night, Ilara couldn't help but wonder what challenges lay ahead for humanity in this vast, complex universe they were about to enter. Little did they know, the true test of humanity's unique abilities was yet to come, and it would shake the foundations of the galaxy itself. The galactic stage. 5 years had passed since the Zarquin's arrival, and Earth had undergone a transformation unlike anything in human history. The knowledge that humanity was not alone in the universe had united the planet in ways previously thought impossible. Old rivalries faded as nations pooled their resources to prepare for humanity's debut on the galactic stage. Captain Zara Reeves stood on the bridge of the ESS Horizon, Earth's first faster-than-light capable ship. A marvel of human ingenuity and alien technology, the Horizon represented humanity's first step into the wider galaxy. "Final checks complete, Captain," her XO, Lieutenant Commander Jack Chen, reported. "We're ready for our first jump." Zara nodded, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "Very well. Let's make history." With a flash of light and a sensation that defied description, the Horizon leaped across light years of space. When they emerged, a breathtaking sight greeted them: a massive space station orbiting a blue-green gas giant. "Welcome to Nexus Prime," came the familiar mental voice of Zilar, their Zarquin liaison, the heart of galactic diplomacy. As they docked, Zara couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humans had gone from doubting the existence of alien life to standing among the stars in less than a decade. The delegation from Earth, led by Ambassador Elena Vasquez, made their way through the station's winding corridors. Aliens of all shapes and sizes bustled about, some eyeing the humans with curiosity, others with barely concealed wariness. In the grand chamber of the Galactic Council, representatives from hundreds of species gathered. Ambassador Vasquez stepped forward, her voice steady as she addressed the assembly. "Esteemed members of the galactic community, I bring greetings from Earth. We come in peace, eager to learn and contribute to this grand tapestry of civilizations." A murmur rippled through the chamber. A tall, avian being stepped forward, its feathers shimmering with iridescent colors. "We welcome you, humans," it trilled, "but we must address the Voraxis in the room. Your world, it concerns us." Elena nodded, having anticipated this. "We understand your concerns. Earth is indeed a challenging world by galactic standards, but we assure you, we come as friends, not conquerors." A gelatinous being pulsed with agitation. "Friends, your bodies are built to withstand conditions that would kill most of us instantly. Your immune systems are robust enough to fight off diseases that would devastate our populations. How can we trust that you won't simply overrun us?" Zara, watching from the sidelines, felt a mixture of pride and unease. She had never considered humans particularly tough, but seeing themselves through alien eyes was eye-opening. Dr. Ilara Chen, now Earth's foremost xenobiologist, stepped forward. "If I may, I believe I can offer some insight into why Earth produced a species like us." With permission granted, Ilara activated a holographic display. Earth's history has been marked by constant change and upheaval. Mass extinctions, ice ages, rapid climate shifts. Life on our world had to adapt quickly or perish. Images of Earth's violent past flashed by. Supervolcanoes, asteroid impacts, rapidly shifting continents. This crucible of evolution forged humanity. We're not inherently superior. We're simply the product of an unforgiving world. A reptilian being hissed softly. "And this is supposed to reassure us. You speak of your world as if it's alive, constantly trying to kill you. Yet you not only survived but thrived. How can we be sure you won't see our worlds as soft, easy conquests?" Ambassador Vasquez raised her hands placatingly. "Because that's not who we are. Yes, we're adaptable. Yes, we're resilient. But we're also curious, compassionate, and eager to learn. We don't want to conquer. We want to cooperate." The debate raged for hours. Some species saw the potential in allying with humans, while others advocated for quarantine or even preemptive action against Earth. As the session adjourned for the day, Zara found herself in a quiet corner of the station, gazing out at the stars. Zylar, the Czar-Quinn liaison, approached her. "Your people are causing quite a stir." Zylar's mental voice held a note of amusement. Zara sighed. "I never thought being human would be so controversial." Zylar's multifaceted eyes shimmered. "It's not just about your physical capabilities, you know. It's your minds that truly set you apart." "Our minds?" "Yes. Most species, evolving on stable worlds, develop linear problem-solving skills. But humans, your thoughts are as adaptable as your bodies. You think in ways that often baffle other species." Zara considered this. Humanity's history was filled with innovative leaps, outside-the-box solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems. Was this another product of their harsh evolutionary past? As they talked, alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Emergency lights flashed, and panic spread among the delegates. "What's happening?" Zara demanded, her training kicking in. Ziller's mental voice was tinged with fear. "It's the swarm. They found us." On the main view screen, a terrifying sight unfolded. A vast cloud of biomechanical ships, more numerous than stars, approached Nexus Prime. The swarm, a hive-mind entity that consumed all in its path, had been the stuff of galactic nightmares for millennia. As chaos erupted around them, Zara realized that humanity was about to face its greatest test. The crucible that had forged them on Earth had prepared them for this moment, though they didn't know it yet. The galaxy watched, some with hope and others with trepidation, as humanity stood on the precipice of a conflict that would determine the fate of all sentient life. The Deathworlders were about to show the galaxy what they were truly capable of, for better or for worse. The crucible of conflict. The swarm descended upon Nexus Prime like a tsunami of nightmares. Billions of biomechanical entities swarmed around the station, their collective consciousness focused on a single goal: consumption. Captain Zara Reeves' voice cut through the chaos on the command deck of the ESS Horizon. "All hands, battle stations, prepare for emergency evac procedures." As the only human ship present, the Horizon was woefully outmatched. Yet, Zara knew they couldn't stand idly by while the station was torn apart. "Captain," Lieutenant Commander Chen called out, "the station's shields are failing. We're receiving distress calls from multiple sectors." Zara's mind raced, assessing options that seemed to shrink with each passing second. Then, an idea struck her, crazy, risky, but quintessentially human. "Chen, what's the radiation output of our FTL drive?" Chen's eyes widened as he caught on to her plan. "Massive, Captain, but using it this close to the station could fry every system and kill everyone aboard," Zara finished. unless we can channel it. She hit the comms. Dr. Chen, I need you on the bridge now. As Ilara rushed in, Zara outlined her plan. They would use the Horizon's FTL drive to generate a massive electromagnetic pulse, hopefully disabling the swarm ships. But they needed a way to focus the pulse away from the station. Ilara's scientific mind kicked into overdrive. The station's shield emitters. If we can reconfigure them to act as a directional antenna, we'd need to rewrite the entire shield matrix in minutes, Chen objected. Then it's a good thing we humans work well under pressure, Zara said grimly. Make it happen. As Ilara and Chen worked feverishly to reconfigure the station's systems, Zara coordinated with the panicking alien races. Many were skeptical of the human plan, seeing it as too risky, too unconventional. Ambassador Vasquez's voice came over the comms, steel in her tone. Trust us. This is what humans do best. We adapt. We overcome. The next few minutes were a blur of activity. Alien technicians, guided by human ingenuity, reworked systems that hadn't been modified in centuries. The Horizon maneuvered into position, its FTL drive spooling up to dangerous levels. Ready on your mark, Captain, Chen reported, sweat beading on his brow. Zara took a deep breath. May whatever gods are out there help us. Execute. The universe seemed to hold its breath for a moment. Then, a blinding flash erupted from the horizon. A wave of energy, focused by the station's repurposed shields, lashed out at the swarm. For a heart-stopping moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, like puppets with cut strings, swarm ships began to drift lifelessly in space. Cheers erupted across the station as the immediate threat passed. But Zara knew this was only the beginning. In the aftermath, as damage reports flooded in and rescue operations began, the mood on Nexus Prime shifted. Aliens who had hours ago feared the humans now looked at them with newfound respect, and in some cases, awe. The avian being who had first voiced concerns about humanity approached Ambassador Vasquez, its feathers ruffled in what seemed to be embarrassment. Your people, you saved us all. We misjudged you. Vasquez smiled warmly. We understand your initial concerns, but now, perhaps, you see that our adaptability, our death-world nature, can be a strength for the entire galaxy. As the immediate crisis passed, a new challenge emerged. The swarm, though temporarily repelled, would undoubtedly return. And next time, they would be prepared for human ingenuity. In an emergency session of the Galactic Council, strategies were debated. Many species, accustomed to long periods of peace, struggled to shift to a war footing. But the humans, with their history of conflict and rapid adaptation, were already several steps ahead. Dr. Ilara Chen presented findings that shocked the Council. The swarm isn't just a mindless force of destruction, she explained. It's evolving, learning. Each encounter makes it stronger, more adaptable. A murmur of despair ran through the chamber, but Ilara wasn't finished. However, this also presents an opportunity. If the swarm can evolve, so can we. And humans, well, rapid evolution is our specialty. Captain Reeves stepped forward, her voice carrying the weight of millennia of human military strategy. We propose a multi-pronged approach. Technological innovation, guerrilla tactics, and a united front unlike anything the galaxy has seen before. As humans outlined plans that ranged from weaponizing FTL technology to developing biomechanical countermeasures, the alien races began to see them in a new light. The very traits that had made humans seem dangerous, their adaptability, their innovative thinking, their ability to thrive in adversity, now represented hope for the entire galaxy. But not everyone was convinced. A faction of isolationist species argued for abandoning the threatened sectors of the galaxy, retreating to safer regions, and leaving the swarm to consume what it would. It was Zvilar, the Zaraquin liaison, who countered this argument most effectively. We brought humans into the galactic community because we recognized their potential. Now, faced with the greatest threat in our history, We would be fools to ignore the very qualities that make them unique. As the debates raged on, alliances began to form. Species that had never cooperated now found common ground in the face of extinction, and at the center of it all were the humans, the Deathworlders, rising to a challenge that would determine the fate of all sentient life. Zara stood at a viewport, watching as ships from a dozen alien races performed joint maneuvers, preparing for the battles to come. Earth, once seen as a backwater world, was now the front line in a war for survival. "We never asked for this," she murmured. "Perhaps not," Ilara replied, joining her. "But it's what we were built for. Every hardship our ancestors faced, every challenge Earth threw at us, it was preparing us for this moment." As they watched, a fleet of newly designed hybrid ships dropped out of FTL, the first fruits of human-alien cooperation. They represented a new era, one where humanity's unique perspectives and abilities were not feared, but celebrated. The swarm was coming, but this time, the galaxy would be ready. And at the forefront of the defense would be the children of Earth, the Deathworlders, ready to show the universe what they were truly capable of. Turning the tide. The war against the swarm raged across the galaxy, a conflict unlike any in recorded history. Entire star systems became battlegrounds, worlds were lost and won, and the line between victory and annihilation blurred with each passing day. At the heart of the resistance stood humanity, their strategies and technologies reshaping the very nature of galactic warfare. Admiral Zara Reeves, her promotion a testament to humanity's rising influence, stood on the bridge of the ESS Prometheus, Earth's most advanced warship. The view screen showed a sea of stars, each point of light potentially hiding swarm forces. "Status report," Zora commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Her XO, now Captain Chen, responded crisply. "The Arcturian fleet is in position, Admiral. The Zarquin stealth ships are awaiting your signal. Earth's biomech units are primed and ready." Zara nodded, a grim smile playing on her lips. This battle plan, a fusion of multiple species strengths guided by human strategic thinking, was about to be put to the ultimate test. "Commence Operation Hydra," she ordered. Across the sector, ships of various alien designs moved in perfect synchronization. The Arcturians, with their energy manipulation technology, created a massive sensor blind spot. Within this artificial void, Zarquin ships, cloaked and silent, maneuvered into position. And at the core of this formation, human-designed biomechanical units waited, a countermeasure born from studying the very enemy they fought. As the trap was sprung, the swarm reacted with its usual brutal efficiency. But for the first time since the war began, the hive mind seemed confused, its tactics disjointed. "It's working," Chen breathed, watching as the swarm forces were split, isolated, and systematically dismantled. Zara allowed herself a moment of satisfaction before refocusing. "Press the advantage. All ships. Execute attack pattern Theta 9. The battle raged for hours, a dance of destruction and strategy that would be studied for generations to come. When the dust settled, the sector was clear of swarm presence, a decisive victory that would change the course of the war. As the fleet regrouped, messages of congratulations poured in from across the galaxy. Species that had once feared humanity now sang their praises, marveling at the ingenuity and courage displayed. But Zara knew the war was far from over. In her quarters, she met with Dr. Ilara Chen, whose insights into swarm biology had been crucial to their recent successes. "We've bought ourselves some time," Ilara said, her holographic display showing the retreating swarm forces. "But they're adapting. Each victory becomes harder than the last." Zara nodded, feeling the familiar weight of command. "Then we need to end this war, and soon. What's the status of Project Phoenix?" Ilara's eyes lit up with excitement tinged with apprehension. "We're close to a breakthrough. The fusion of human DNA with swarm biotechnology. It's unprecedented. If it works, we could turn their greatest strength against them. And if it doesn't, Zara asked, voicing the fear they both shared. Then we might create something worse than the swarm, Ilara admitted. It's a risk, but it's a risk we have to take, Zara finished. Humanity has always advanced by taking leaps into the unknown. We won't stop now. As they discussed the project's details, an alert blared through the ship. Chen's voice came over the comm, urgent and strained. Admiral, we're detecting massive swarm activity in the Orient sector. They're heading straight for Earth. Zara's blood ran cold. Earth, despite its new status in the galactic community, was still largely undefended. Most of its forces were spread across the galaxy, protecting other worlds. How long do we have? She demanded. At their current speed, less than 72 hours, Chen replied. Zara's mind raced, considering and discarding options at lightning speed. Then, a plan began to form. Audacious, potentially suicidal, but quintessentially human. Send word to all our allies, she ordered. We're making our stand at Earth. It's time to show the swarm what happens when they threaten our home. As the message spread, ships from across the galaxy began to converge on the Sol system. Species that had never seen Earth, some that had once advocated for humanity's containment, now rushed to its defense. On Earth itself, panic gave way to grim determination. Governments united, pooling resources and manpower. Civilian ships were retrofitted for battle, and long-dormant defense systems were brought online. In orbit, a makeshift fleet assembled, the largest gathering of diverse species in galactic history. At its center, the ESS Prometheus stood ready, a symbol of humanity's resolve. As the swarm approached, Zara addressed the combined fleet, her words translated into 100 alien languages. We stand here today, not just as humans, not just as individual species, but as a united galaxy. The swarm thinks it has found our weakness by striking at humanity's homeworld. But they don't understand what Earth means to us, what it has made us. She paused, her voice gaining strength. Earth is not just a planet. It's the forge that created us, the crucible that taught us to survive against all odds. And now, that same spirit, the spirit of Earth, lives in all of you. Together, we are no longer the hunted. We are the hunters. And it's time we showed the swarm what a truly united galaxy can do. A roar of approval echoed across the communications channels. As one, the fleet moved into formation, ready to face the oncoming storm. The battle for Earth was about to begin, and with it, the final chapter in humanity's journey from feared Deathworlders to the galaxy's last, best hope for survival. A new era dawns. The space around Earth erupted into chaos as the swarm descended upon the planet. The combined galactic fleet met them head-on, a dazzling array of technologies and tactics working in harmony. At the heart of the defense was the ESS Prometheus, Admiral Zara Reeves coordinating the most crucial battle in human history. Zar Quinn's stealth ships. Execute Maneuver Epsilon. Zara commanded. Arcturian energy nets, stand by to deploy on my mark. The battle raged for hours, the void lit by weapons fire and explosions. Earth's atmosphere glowed with the aftermath of orbital combat, its inhabitants watching with bated breath as their fate was decided above them. In a research facility on the Moon, Dr. Ilara Chen worked feverishly. Project Phoenix, humanity's desperate gambit, was nearing completion. If successful, it would turn the swarm's biology against itself, unraveling the hive mind that made it so formidable. We're ready, Ilara's voice crackled over the comms. But Admiral, deploying this weapon, we don't know what it will do to non-swarm organic matter. The risk to our allies is a risk we have to take, Zara finished grimly. All allied ships, fall back to secondary positions. Prepare to deploy Project Phoenix. As the allied fleet retreated, leaving a gap in the defense, the swarm pressed its advantage. Countless bioships surged toward Earth, their victory seemingly assured. Now, Zara ordered. A pulse of energy erupted from the lunar facility, washing over the swarm forces. For a moment, Nothing seemed to happen. Then chaos erupted among the enemy ranks. Swarm ships began to attack each other, their hive mind corrupted and fragmented by the human-engineered virus. "It's working," Chen exclaimed from the Prometheus bridge. "The swarm is tearing itself apart." But the victory was not without cost. Several Allied ships, caught in the pulse's radius, reported system failures and biological distress among their crews. The weapon, born from the fusion of human and swarm DNA, affected all life to some degree. As the swarm forces crumbled, Zera made a difficult decision. All ships pressed the attack. "We end this now, whatever the cost." The next hours were a blur of coordinated strikes against the disorganized swarm. When the last enemy ship fell silent, a stunned hush fell over the battlefield. After years of relentless conflict, the war was over. Humanity and the galaxy had survived. In the aftermath, as the dust of battle settled and the full impact of their victory became clear, the galactic community found itself irrevocably changed. Earth, once seen as a backwater world of dangerous deathworlders, was now hailed as the savior of the galaxy. Weeks later, in the rebuilt chambers of the Galactic Council, representatives from every spacefaring race gathered. At the center stood Ambassador Elena Vasquez, flanked by Admiral Reeves and Dr. Chen. The avian being who had once voiced the earliest concerns about humanity now addressed the assembly, its feathers shimmering with emotion. "We stand here today because of the humans. Their strength, born from their harsh world, became our strength. Their adaptability became our salvation." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The gelatinous being pulsed forward. "We propose that Earth be recognized not just as a member world, but as the new capital of our united galaxy. Let the homeworld of humanity become the heart of our new civilization." The motion was passed unanimously. As the implications sank in, Zera turned to Ilara, a mix of pride and apprehension in her eyes. "Everything's going to change now, isn't it?" Ilara nodded, her gaze distant. "We've opened the door to a new era of galactic cooperation, but we've also shown the universe the full extent of what we're capable of. That knowledge can't be unlearned." Ambassador Vasquez joined them, her expression serious. "Which means we have a greater responsibility than ever. We must ensure that the traits that allowed us to survive, our adaptability, our drive, our willingness to take risks, are used to build, not destroy." As the council session concluded, the three women stood at a viewport, looking out at the stars. Earth was visible, a blue marble suspended in the void, now the acknowledged cradle of the galaxy's greatest defenders. "You know," Zora mused, "for all our technology, all our advancements in the end, it was the most fundamental aspects of our nature that saved us. The very things that made Earth a death world." Ilara nodded. "Our history of struggle, of overcoming impossible odds, it prepared us for this moment. Every hardship our ancestors faced was a lesson," Elena finished, "teaching us not just to survive, but to thrive in the face of adversity." As they watched, ships from a dozen alien worlds moved in formation around Earth, a honor guard for the new galactic capital. It was a powerful symbol of how far they had come, from feared outsiders to the linchpin of a new unified galaxy. "So," Zara said, a hint of her old humor returning, "what's next for the Deathworlders?" Ilara's eyes sparkled with the promise of new discoveries. "We've only just begun to explore our potential, and that of our new allies. The swarm may be defeated, but the universe is vast. There will be new challenges, new frontiers. And we'll face them together," Elena added. "Not just as humans, but as a united galactic community." As they turned back to the council chamber, ready to help shape the future of the galaxy, they carried with them the spirit of Earth, the determination, resilience, and adaptability that had seen them through their greatest trial. The Deathworlders had not just survived, they had flourished, transforming the very nature of galactic society. And as they stepped into this new era, They did so not with fear or apprehension, but with the unshakable confidence of a species that had stared into the abyss and emerged stronger. The age of humanity had begun, and the galaxy would never be the same.